In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at how we can add links to different existing pages on the SEN Wiki site. What I've actually done is I've been looking around for resources this evening, and I found a really nice page on dyslexia over on the NHS Choices website, and I'd like to be able to share that on SEN Wiki. So what I actually need to do is to grab the address of that web page on the internet, and that's this thing that appears up here in the address bar in my web browser. So I'm actually going to start off by clicking on that so it's highlighted. Indeed, you might need to select it all. I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to go copy. So that'll pick up and store a copy of that text for me. What I'm then going to do, I'm going to go into the page I'd like to add it to. So I'm going to put that on the bottom of the dyslexia page that we've got on the site. And also to make sure that I've logged on to SEN Wiki with my account as well. I'll know I've done that because the edit button will be here. And whereabouts I'd like it to appear is down here at the very bottom. I've got a section that says sources, and I think what I'm going to do is add a further reading section down at the bottom of this page, maybe just above sources actually, and I can start to add different websites in there. So this is how I do it. I'm going to click on edit on the dyslexia page. That'll show me all the code that makes that page, and I want it to go at the bottom, so I'm going to scroll down, and specifically where I'd like it to go is after all those main set of bullet points but before sources. So I'm going to click in that gap that I've got in there. I'm going to hit enter a couple of times to make some space. I'm going to make a heading for it, so I'm going to use a couple of equal signs. Further reading. Okay, so that's created the heading for me, and I want the actual web page itself to go underneath. Just to make it neat, because I might end up with 7 or 8 resources in here in the fullness of time, I'm actually going to make a bullet point, so that's the asterisk, that I'm going to put the link on. So to make a link to a web page that's not a web page on SEN Wiki, that's a different process. This is how we do it. I start off by typing a square bracket, which is over on the right hand side of your keyboard. It's just to the right of the letter P. It's the bracket that you get when you don't hold down shift. And what I'm then going to do is I'm going to right click in that exact spot and paste. And that's putting down now, look, the location on the web of that dyslexia page from the NHS website. What I now do is I type one space, and now I type in a description of what that web page is, and that's what people will see when they view the web page. So they'll see some words, they click on those words, it'll take them to this page. And so the style that I've been using is this. I tend to say what the name of the website is, so that'll be NHS, and then I tend to say what the page is all about. So I think it's an overview. I think that's a good way to describe it. Like that. So I got the original page, then I put a space, and then I wrote whatever you write whatever you like after that. You can use spaces and things again subsequently. To finish the process, to tell the computer that that's the end of the link, you then put a closed square bracket on the end. So it's finished with a square bracket, starts with a square bracket, and that's actually added that now as a link. So that's a fairly minor edit. Added link to NHS dyslexia, like that. And I'll click on save. Just a little aside that I didn't mention before. You've got this option that says watch this page. You can turn that off or turn it on. What that does is if you've got a page that you contribute to quite a lot, then you might want to turn this on. And the feature solely does this. If you have that feature turned on, then from that point onwards, anytime that page changes, you get sent an email. And it just tells you that someone's updated that particular page. So I'll leave it turned on. It doesn't hurt. I'm a bit curious myself. I'll leave that on. I click on Save Changes. Now, because I've added a link to a web page that's not on SEN Wiki, the computer's now actually going to stop and pause before it puts it on the website. And it's going to ask me to solve a little maths problem. 44 plus 5, that's 49. Now, I know that probably seems silly, but the reason it does that is this. As you can probably imagine, there's all sorts of different people and also computer programs on the internet as well that are designed to find web pages like this one, to edit them and insert lots and lots of links to advertise different products. And so by putting on a simple sum like this, that's something that a computer program won't be able to spot and solve, and so it just avoids any graffiti, really, for want of a better word, being added onto the website. So that's why it does that. They're never really hard sums, but they are just purely there to prove that you're a human and not a computer program. So that's now been updated. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. What we'll now see is now got that heading that we just created, further reading, and it says here NHS Dyslexia Overview, little icon. When I click on it, it takes me off to that lovely NHS Choices website. So that is how we add a link to an external website onto the SEN Wiki.